Shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High. And this is the debate league, and this is the real biblical debate league. This is where we are going to set up and get some topics going. So if anybody has any issue, if you want to bring anything to the table, let's get it. Always be willing to stand on what you believe. With that being said, what I believe, this is going to be an open discussion. And if anybody got a problem with what I'm saying, get at me. But I have an issue with the way black women, he said the forbidden phrase, black women, that means that everybody's ready to cringe. But yeah, black women, the way that black women, not saying all black women, and I'm not saying that this is something that they all do, but it happens way too much, which is they have a bad mouth. They have a bad mouth. And the biggest problem with that is that the men that could actually get their word across to these clamorous black women are failing to meet up to the requirements and to meet up with their duties. Let me say this one more time. They're failing to meet up with their duties. These guys are so neutered and effeminate these days that they are allowing the black woman to get away with murder. And then when anybody says anything to them, anybody says anything in opposition to this poisonous behavior that they just feel so free to display, you're going to get all these effeminate mama's boys to try to come through to the rescue, not realizing, man, that all you're really doing, in all actuality, all you're really doing is just setting these women up for failure and solidifying and instilling bad practices and morals. That's all you guys are doing. I don't know where we even got off in thinking that. Well, I do know where we got off thinking this. We got off thinking that the woman is just completely fucking free from being the to being held accountable for what they do. Don't everybody wants to talk about the black man and how we kill each other in the streets. Everybody want to talk about the black man, how we are deadbeat dads, absent fathers. But nobody ever even wants to get on the woman on how she's out there having sex for financial gain, being virtual hoes. Nobody wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about how these women in these days are carrying multiple men into the bed for financial gain. Nobody is talking about how the black woman feels so free to disrespect the black man and to talk down to him, cut him off, become so poisonous that the average minded individual is going to call it quits. Nobody wants to sit there on there and identify the reason why black man patience has ran out for the so-called black woman. Nobody wants to identify and hold any of these women accountable for what they're doing. They just let them go off, talk all the crap that they want, be so horrible at conducting the actual appropriate conversation, call men out of their names like bitches and broke niggas and losers. And then they want to be surprised when nobody wants to have nothing to do with them. They're so surprised that everybody is kind of just looking at them and saying, you know what, I pass. They wondering why this is happening. And they saying, oh, the black man, he ain't this, he ain't that. The black man, he do this and he do that. You like, but what about y'all? Don't you all know that it takes two to tango? You are not just completely innocent in what is transpiring. You're not innocent. You are actually, if you ask me, you're solely responsible for what is happening inside of that household because you're raising these deadbeat men. Don't get it twisted. We are completely one generation into single family households. And look what it has produced. A single parent household, excuse me. We are one generation in. This single parent household started off in the 60s. That's when it just started becoming a thing amongst blacks. Single parent households started off in the 60s. It came in with the women's rights. It piggybacked alongside, it piggybacked the civil rights movement. And the civil rights movement didn't do anything but just destroy the black household because it let this dragon loose. Yeah, I said it. Freaking dragons, man. This fire-breathing dragon that people calls they mamas. This fire-breathing dragon that people calls they baby mamas. Alluding to the fact that they ain't no longer with that dragon anymore. They left the beast. They had to slay the beast. And then everybody want to sit around here and still say, oh, poor black woman. Poor black woman. What do you mean, poor black woman? She is the one that's actually, when everybody's talking about these people that's receiving handouts, it ain't the black man. Fuck y'all talking about? Let's get the facts straight. Who is the one that is receiving all these handouts from the government? It's the black woman. The black man is left out high to dry. Most of the time, he ends up in prison. Why? Because there isn't any aid for the so-called black man. Nobody doesn't aid and assist the black man. Black man, you ain't got a job. Ain't nobody giving a damn about what you're going through. They don't care if you end up as a beggar on the streets. Black man. They don't care if you end up in jail. Black man. And they really don't care if you end up dead. They actually would probably rather see you in a grave than to take care of you in a 9-to-5. Only reason why they do that is because these are private owned prison. This is a private owned prison system now. The prison system is not owned by, per se, the American government. These are privately contracted businesses. So that's the only reason why they have actually settled with black men filling up the prisons. It's because it makes them money. That's how they actually further instill slavery and whatever. But if you really, really look at those that's receiving the handouts, you look at the one that's actually being, the word that I used earlier today was enabled. You look at those who are being enabled, it's the so-called black woman. And what are they enabling them to do? They enabling them to not come under the authority of the black man. They are so, this country right here, this wicked, devilish country is so hell-bent on the destruction of black men that they devised a way for the black woman to undercut the authority of a black man, undermining the existence of a black man in whole. And then they turn around and say, we're non-factors. Black women should stop procreating with us. Black men should stop procreating with your nappy-headed asses too then. Black men should stop procreating with these chicken head assholes. Excuse my language, but that's just the truth. If they want to sit here and start talking about, hey, well, let's call it quits. Shit, well, let's call it quits. But I'll tell you this one, the whites and the Mexican women, they still want us. Don't nobody wants y'all. Y'all hair don't even grow. So nobody wants you. Yeah, I said that. Your hair doesn't grow. That right there knocks you out of the box for most people. Most people ain't trying to see no bald-headed ass, chicken-headed, loudmouth, rambunctious, clamorous ass individual sitting on it, sitting shotgun every damn day. Ain't nobody trying to pay. Ain't nobody trying to go to work, struggle day in and day out, break their back to provide for that shit. People want to come home to peace, quiet, harmony, and someone that's actually obedient. Yeah, the forbidden old word that black women all melt down on. I don't give a darn where they go to church at and what they have been doing for the last 10, 20, 30 years. Mention that word obey, and then watch how just their whole face spells straight. I'm talking about, you can read it in letters on their face, man, that this person has been possessed by an evil spirit the moment you said the word obedient. They can't stand obedience. And that goes all the way back to Genesis. Genesis 3. When Eve displayed disobedience to the Creator, to the Almighty. Why was that in the first? Why was that the first lesson to be taught? You know why? Because the first lesson to be taught is your foundational lesson. Just like when you go to school, what is the first lessons that they teach you in there? Numbers and letters. Why did they teach you numbers and letters? Because the whole school system is going to branch off from those two academic fields. Right there. Numbers and letters. We have to get that one down first before you take on anything else. You got to know your numbers and your letters. And the Bible did the exact same thing. That principle is in the Bible. The foundation on which you need to know before you call yourself going any further with the Bible is you got to know the book of Genesis and know why these stories are in there. And you got to figure out why the first negative incident in the Bible was conducted and initiated by a woman. There's a reason to that. I know that a lot of you mama's boys out there don't agree. I know a lot of you mama's boys out there is hurting to hear these words and you just wish that it will stop. A lot of people probably already then, by the time they hear, they got to get up to this point, they already have decided that they want to run from this conversation. Oh, no, I ain't going over there. I'm sure that that's going to happen. Why? The wicked flee when no man pursues. All y'all is expected to run because you're wicked as hell, man. The Bible's letting you know, like, man, don't think that you're failing, you're doing something wrong when you're not the head of the popularity contest. They said, nah, not in this wicked, decayed world. Not in this system. Said that ain't promoted. Righteousness ain't promoted in this place. Doing what is actually right by God ain't what these people actually have an appetite for. These people, they love to see the so-called black woman in the way that she is today. You got enough people out there that thinks that the so-called black woman is God. They're saying that they're content with the way that she is. The way that the so-called black woman is the way that all women should be. That's what they're actually implying. Well, then we go and look in, and you go and look in and see the activities of the black woman. There ain't nothing in there. There ain't nothing in there that's worth anybody to actually drop doing what they doing and adapt that shit. There ain't nothing in there. Go watch Desperate Housewives or whatever. I don't know if that's the name of the show. I don't watch that stuff. But Basketball Wives and Love and Hip Hop and Black Ink and, you know, all these other shows where they're just showing black women just being themselves. It's a freaking pony show. It's a freak show, man. Literally and hypothetically speaking. Just straight freak show. They dress like freaks. They got their ass cheeks hanging out. And I'm talking about in every scene possible. They got their ass cheeks hanging out. Nipples exposed. Not wearing any bras. Bouncing around. Just being overly sexual. What's happening, man? Oh yeah, can't nobody charge their phones up here no more, nothing like that. They being over hyperly sexual to where it is like, hell no. Like, nah. These black women is trying to get away with literally murder. They be on these television shows as a, if you ask me, I say that the white man put these women under the spotlight so they can actually teach their kids on the reason why they're racist. They'll say, no, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm not being unreasonable. You're acting like racism is unreasonable. They said, no, there's some reasons why we are teaching you, little Jimmy, that this stuff ain't cool. That you should not partake in any fashion with these people. Don't mate with them. Don't hire them. Don't rent your houses to them. Don't put them in a position of any power, because all they're going to do is let more Negroes in. And those people do not have any type of moral filtration on who they're going to be bringing into your business. So be ready for thieves. Be ready for work not actually being done properly. And why and why are we saying that this is what they're going to do? Is because they're raised by clamorous women. They are literally being raised by people that are not good parents. They are being raised by people that has no freaking clue. And I said the word parents. Let me back that up. Parent. They are being raised by insufficient. They're being raised by an insufficient parent. This person is lopsided in their parenting. A lot of the times they done ran the man all the way off. And if anybody has an issue on what I'm saying, man, let this be one of your debate topics. Let's get it in. Debate me about this. Debate me of that black women. Debate me if black women are insufficient or sufficient. I'll let you know they're very insufficient. They are definitely under the standard. They're substandard to what is needed to bring up the black child. They're just not sufficient. And it's because they have pride and they have a lot of arrogance and they got a big mouth that they refuse to control. That is the biggest problem. They have to get their mouths in order. Other than that, man, there is no advancement for the so-called black man, woman, and child. It just won't happen. That's the reason why you don't see these behaviors in the other nationalities, because this thing that black women is thinking is so cool and they're showing their strength, I'm black woman, hear me roar type bullshit is not accepted and not adopted by any other nationality on planet Earth. Even though these people say, everybody follows after us. Everybody likes to see what we do. Everybody does what the black man and a woman does, except for run their dang mouths. That's what you don't see, though. That's what everybody else is leaving on you. They say, oh, no, 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 no. I don't want none of that. I just want a couple of your dance moves. Oh, no, no, I don't want none of that. I don't want that mouth and that attitude shit. Like, no thanks. I just want to, you know what I'm saying, see you twerk. I'll throw some money at you if you're a prostitute. Yeah, I would, that's what they think. Like, yeah, some of us would like to have sex with y'all. No, 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 ain't nobody marrying you. Nobody is just running head over heels to marry the black woman. Black men ain't marrying them. White men ain't marrying them. The Mexican men ain't marrying them. Nobody wants them. Black man, he's trying, but they run that dude off. That dude is looking like, man, fuck it, man. I tried. Hey, kids, I guess I'll just pick up when you guys become grown. I'll just try to teach you something then. But right now, you under the power of this wicked woman, and this nation has rendered me powerless. Sorry, son. Sorry, daughter. I can't be a part of your life anymore. Why? Because your mama is running me off. I'm not speaking on myself. I'm not projecting. I'm just speaking for what? 70, 80% of the so-called black man. I'm speaking on his behalf right now. This is what he is eternally saying to his children in response to his this supposed to have been his wife, but she just morphed on him like a Power Ranger and turned into just a dragon. And I'm saying these things because this stuff has to stop. We shouldn't sit here and be respecters of persons, male nor female. It doesn't matter that you have a slit and some fur where I have an extension. That doesn't give you any legality to conduct yourselves outside of what has already been deemed as acceptable. You're not allowed to deviate out of that. Oh, I'm a woman. Why are you talking to the woman like she needs to learn to shut the heck up? Look at all the other freaking races. Why is there women silent? Why is there women saying, no, I'm not gonna let the dudes go and handle this? Like, oh no, hey man, it was a bunch of men in there talking. Like, so I didn't feel like it was my place. That's other nationalities. They already got that down. Black woman, she wants the spotlight in everything. Even in a man's conversation, the black woman wants to be noticed. And then when somebody says like, hey man, you know what I'm saying, or give her that look like, man, what the fuck, man, be quiet. And nobody asked you. I'm literally handling something with another man. You got to give the men some space. We've been doing this for centuries. We've been doing this for millennia. For thousands of years, men has been conducting their affairs amongst themselves. It's like, let the men handle what they got to do. Why? Because when the fist gets a flying, you women, y'all don't want to be nowhere in sight anyways. And you know that. When the fist get the flying, you don't want none of them coming your way. So when the men is talking, anticipate a fight might break out. And keep yourself out of harm's way. Even though you may be enthusiastic and excited to get involved, sit back and hold your peace and let men do what they've been doing for thousands of years, which is conducting man-on-man conversations, handling stuff and getting things actually, for the most part, it has happened, for the most part, ironed out. They can get things ironed out when there's not a third tongue, when there's not a woman coming through with all her weird stuff that she likes to do. That doesn't help a conversation that is already getting escalated or becoming trivial. Don't nobody need the woman to come through and say anything as much as you want to help. You'll help a whole lot more by supporting your man, but by remaining silent while other men are present. It's really, really, really that simple. It ain't rocket science. It's an easy way of going about things. Like when the women is needed, we'll know. You'll know. But when there's too many voices being spoken, and everybody wants to be a star, that's when stuff gets messed up. That's when things get shifty and shaky. You know what I'm saying? So let that be one of the topics that y'all want to talk about. If anybody got a problem with what I'm saying, if you are a woman crusader, even if you was a woman and you want to get up on here and combat anything that I said, put something in the chat, leave something in the comments, and I will contact you within 24 hours. We'll set up this discussion. You can pick who you want to debate from. At this moment, it'll be either me or one of the members of this league. They will either address the issue upon your request. Otherwise than that, you'll be taking this issue up with me. And we will have somebody of this league introduce themselves as the moderator before we actually hash out the debate 5 minutes prior. So with that being said, man, get your doctrine out. Make the world feel your thought. A wise man debates all matters. A wise woman is most likely a part of that concept. But what you're not going to be able to allowed to do is mess up conversations with your clamorous behavior and your whole mentality of taking liberty and seeking entitlement to just become overly emotional and disruptive. That's what's not going to actually be acceptable. We're going to end this in this world, and then the one that to come, it definitely will not be acceptable. So you guys better get prepared. Strap your boots on and put on your hard hat, because it's going to be a bumpy road for y'all to actually still want to sit around here and conduct yourselves the way that y'all been doing over here in the United States. With that being said, man, all praises to the Most High. In the name of his son, Yahushai, ignorantly known as the Christ. Biblical Debate League, where the biblical topics get discussed. All praise to the Most High. This is your host, Battle Axe Finna Has. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And put some comments in that chat. Let me know how you feel about what I said. If you got anything to say against what I said, let's get that debate going. Until then, shalom. We out.